Hereditary was written and directed by Ari Aster and stars Toni Collette, and is about Mother Annie and her children when they uncover disturbing secrets about their heritage. Their daily lives are not only impacted, but they also become entangled in a chilling fate from which they cannot escape, driving them to the brink of madness. The first time I watched Hereditary was an interesting experience because at the time, elevated horror was on the rise for more mainstream audiences. And now looking back at it, A24 is known for producing a lot of those films. And they aren't for everyone, but this was Ari Aster's first full feature film. Before this, he was just doing short films. One that a lot of people may know of called Strange Thing About the Johnsons. And if you haven't seen it, you aren't missing much. At the time, Hereditary was being marketed as the next Exorcist, and that alone hooked me to go out in the theaters to see it. Along with a group of high school friends I had at the time. And now I see why half of them don't talk to me anymore. Maybe I shouldn't have taken them to see it. It kind of took me out of the movie at times when all I heard was... I hadn't watched the movie for years till that day. And then I saw it on streaming, and I was like, I'll give it a rewatch. And I will say this. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. The opening shot alone still blows my mind and just shows that we're in the hands of the brilliant direction of Ari Aster. Fear is subjective when it comes to movies like this. Let's take the opening scene alone. It starts at a funeral, the score just swells up, and you can just tell something is off. It's an uncomfortable, unsettling kind of feeling that's hard to describe, but to me it just comes off as unnerving. This movie doesn't shy away from violence or vile imagery at the risk of offending the audience. When I pay to see a horror movie out in theaters, I want to see some genuinely frightening stuff, and in my opinion, it delivers here. Shot in 32 days and 12 hours, earned a nearly $88 million in gross revenue worldwide from a significant budget of $10 million. The plot might not be spine-chilling at first glance, but once you're along this messed up ride, the movie starts to reveal some unexpected jaw-dropping events, such as, spoiler alert, Charlie's death. As much as my friends at the time were being annoying and talking the entire time, they can't deny that everybody went silent in the theater in that moment. Is it this exciting, edge-of-your-seat, cheap scarefest? No. It's a slow burn, and it knows it's a slow burn. Toni Collette also gives like the best performance of her entire career. Even the kids in this as well, they're pretty good too. When the Charlie incident happens and the son Peter goes to his bed, and then there's just that close-up shot that stays on him all night leading up to the morning, and then you hear the background of the mother discovering the body of her dead daughter. It just gives you chills and is truly heartbreaking due to the reaction and performance from Toni Collette. The dinner scene is also another intense moment in the film where the son and mom confront each other about what happened.
Just say it. Just fucking say it. Don't you swear at me, you little shit. Don't you ever raise your voice at me. I am your mother.
What about you, Mom? She didn't want to go to the party. So why was she there?
All right, we're stopping this right now. Ted?
Ari Aster does this thing where he frames shots to where you don't pick up a few things till after a few rewatches. After your eyes have time to adjust, you begin to see things that are hidden in plain sight, as well as a lot of foreshadowing. The exterior shot of the cult standing outside when it cuts to nighttime. 3 naked people standing in the corners, creepily smiling as Peter enters the attic, before it even cuts to them. Annie in the corner of Peter's room as he wakes up. It's some disturbing shit, man. As well as the naked man staring at Peter when he looks back and sees him standing at the door. In which that man was at the beginning of the movie staring at Charlie, knowing she was gonna die. The ending of this movie is wild yet disturbing when the more you think about it, because the character Annie is an unwilling host, and despite trying to rid them of the spirit, completely willing to sacrifice herself, she's forced into servitude to Payman. Even worse, the stare she gives Peter when she's in the attic chopping her head off with a piano string, almost looks as if she's in unspeakable pain, as if Payman is making her experience an agonizing death because she tried to end the ritual. This is like the most realistic depiction of a devil cult horror movie. Floating bodies, creepy as hell. The naked people in the treehouse, bowing, along with Annie and her mom, deceased mom, by the way, and decapitated Annie, bowing to her daughter's decapitated head. Overall, Hereditary is a disturbing horror film that pushes boundaries and delivers a truly unforgettable experience with riveting performances and an overall story that kept me engaged all the way through. Thank you guys as always for watching. I look forward to bringing y'all more movie reviews soon. Next, I'll be covering Midsummer, and then I'll go back to early 2000s slasher movies, starting with Wrong Turn. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.